Hello geniuses, this is Christy Cook coming at you from beautiful Barcelona, where I am on my cousin's terrace and it's fabulous. A little bit windy, but some nice birds here. So today we are going to talk about how to flip your pillars of genius into benefit statements. Because many of you know what your pillars of genius are, and the next step now for you is to determine how to describe your pillars of genius in a way that feels like benefits to your perfect match client, that really attracts them and brings them in. So there's a 3-step process we're going to go through, and I'm also going to go through a real pillars of genius client alumni example, because I know you all love to learn by example. So here's step number 1. Pick one pillar of genius. One at a time. You're going to work through one pillar of genius at a time. So pick just one and write it at the top of a blank piece of paper. Step number 2. Underneath that pillar of genius, write out your PMC dialog, your perfect match client dialog, that is relevant to just that pillar of genius. So do you remember what PMC dialog is? Your perfect match client dialog are the thoughts that are going through your perfect match client's head when they are thinking about the problem that you solve with this particular pillar of genius. You want me to repeat that? So PMC dialog is the thoughts that your perfect match client is having when they're thinking about the problem that they have that you can solve with this particular pillar of genius. Okay, so write out your PMC dialog. Now you may have 2 statements, 3 statements, 5 statements, 10 statements, 25 statements of PMC dialog. Okay, so write those out. Step number 3. Step number 3 is underneath your PMC dialog. Write out how your pillar of genius solves the problems that were just described in step number 2. How does your pillar of genius solve the problems described in your PMC dialog? That is essentially the 3-step process. Now, step number 3, when you're describing how your pillar of genius solves those problems, those are your benefit statements. Those are the things you can use as copy in your marketing, use when you're talking to your perfect match client about how you uniquely benefit your perfect match client. That's where your copy comes from. Now, let's work through an actual real client example. Lisa Rahuric, thank you very much, Lisa. Lisa Rahuric of Brave Bold You has offered to allow me to use her pillars of genius to work through this process. Okay, so let's do this together. I've got notes here. I'm going to refer to them. So, all right. So, step number 1, choose one pillar of genius. So, Lisa's pillar of genius that I'm going to choose, she calls it, let me just see here, find the fun. Okay, find the fun. And believe me, if you go and visit braveboldyou.com, you will see exactly her pillars of genius woven into her copy. So I encourage you to go there. Not right now. Let me walk you through this process first. So step number 1, pillar of genius, find the fun. Step number 2, write down your PMC dialog. So the PMC dialog for her find the fun pillar could be things like, I don't have time to have fun. I just need to get more sales. Or I'd love to have more fun in my business, but with who? I'm a solopreneur. I'm all alone here. Or I've been working so hard for so long, I don't even know what fun feels like anymore in my business. So you can imagine that those are the kinds of dialogue going through her perfect match client's head when they're thinking about the problem that she uniquely solves with this pillar of genius, find the fun. Now there are other pillars of genius. You leave those till later. You do one at a time. Step number 3 is write down how this particular pillar of genius solves these problems defined in the PMC dialog. So I wrote out some things, and Lisa, I hope you like these, but I wrote out some things that will work for this example. So I wrote out, learning how to access the fun in your business is not a luxury. It's essential for your financial success. Why? Number 1, when you're having fun, your mind actually becomes more creative. You can solve your challenging problems, your marketing problems, your sales problems, your financial problems when you're having fun because your mind gets more creative. So not only you think you don't have time to have fun in your business, but actually you don't have time not to have fun in your business. So can you see now how that benefit statement actually connects exactly to PMC dialog number 1 that I mentioned earlier in the video. Go back to the earlier part in the video if you need to re-listen to that. Number 2, I wrote out another benefit statement based on the second PMC dialogue that I listed. I said, being a solopreneur doesn't mean you have to be alone. Having fun naturally attracts people to you. They naturally attracts potential clients, potential JV partners, even people who just want to support you because they love what you do. So having fun is actually necessary for you to gather your tribe around you. And that's the benefit statement of her pillar of genius. And the third one was, I just said, you know, you'll enjoy the journey of being an entrepreneur the more fun you have. So you can see now how we listed the pillar of genius, find the fun. Step number 2, we listed the PMC dialogue that describes the problems that her PMC has, or if they're thinking about, when they're thinking about the problem they have based on this pillar of genius. And step number 3, we talked through how her pillar of genius actually solves the problems that are described in step number 2. So give that a try. Pick one pillar of genius at a time and work through those 3 steps, and please post them in the online private client alumni community for Pillars of Genius, because then you can get support and feedback from all of your peers. So have fun with it, and I hope that everyone gets out there and flips their Pillars of Genius into benefit statements so you can use them in your copy, your elevator pitch, your intros, all those awesome places. And thank you very much, Lisa Rahuric of BraveBoldU.com, for offering up the example and actually bringing me the question in the first place. Thanks, everybody. And go and visit BraveBoldU.com and check out what Lisa Rahuric is doing with these Pillars of Genius. It's pretty cool. All right, see you later. Bye. Hope that's helpful.